Okay, what's your name, what's your birth date, and what year were you born, and I want you to remember 3 things, a dove, a turtle, and a swing set. And name 2 things that you did yesterday. And they do this really quickly, and they want you to repeat it. Well, I don't even think I could do that, you know, so how would a person with dementia? And the person with dementia knows that they're being tested, and so they get very frightened maybe, or because they know if they miss something, they're going to be labeled dementia, which brings up a whole lot of new ways to be being treated, whether you're in public or at the doctor, what kind of medicine you put on, and that type of thing. So the person that trained me, her name is Teepa Snow, and she's a world-renowned dementia specialist. She's an occupational therapist, and she came up with her own assessment. And what the medical assessments are is they look at the negative, so to speak, what this patient is losing, what skills they don't have anymore, and more on the negative side. So Teepa has come up with a form of an assessment that focuses on the positive, what they can still do, you know. And she thought, well, what can I call this assessment that still shows that they have value? And so she came up with GEMS. She's got 6 different GEMS that she kind of categorizes people with dementia in. And she says if you can get them in the right setting, in the right place, they can still shine. So what we're doing here is we're learning how to put, you know, how to get that right setting and the right place so that they can shine in life and not give up on everything. So the first one that she came up with is a sapphire. So usually a sapphire is blue, and some of them have stars and some of them don't. So if you can relate this to people, and one important thing is a person, we all have personalities, and a person with dementia still has those personalities within them somewhere. So if they've been a person that's organized all their life, just they're in control, they're still going to be showing that even when they have dementia. So it's very helpful to learn about someone before working with them. Or maybe you're with your grandparents and you know what they were like before. Yes, we're missing and grieving that part of them, but it's still in there somewhere. So it's very important to learn that about someone. So the next one is a diamond. And what do you think about diamonds? What do you think of when you see a diamond? Mm-hmm.
They're like shiny.
Shiny, bright. Can they cut you?
Yeah.
Possibly. So diamonds are, and it's not every person fits into this category, but diamonds in general are those people with dementia who they've always had things under control. They're very organized. They're very rigid. Diamonds are pretty rigid. They don't flex too much. So that category would fit those. And then we have emeralds. What color are emeralds?
Green.
And what do you think of on a stoplight? What's green?
For go.
Go, 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 go. They're going. They're moving all the time. They gotta move, move, move. They're traveling. They don't know where they're going, maybe, but they are moving. So if you go to the nurse or to Louisa House and you see somebody that's just moving all over the place and having a good time, it might be possible that she's an emerald. Okay. Ambers. I like ambers. They're unique. They're not really a jewel, but they're sap from a tree. The tree keeps releasing the sap, and it crystallizes and forms into a very hard amber. I don't know what you would call it, but that's how ambers are made. So she used ambers because they're kind of frozen in a moment of time. They can only, usually for the most part, only think about what's going on right now, right in front of them. If you bring something else in, they can't handle that. It's just what right now. And this little moment might change to this little moment, at the blink of an eye, and they're in this moment. So they're very hard to follow, but when you understand that they're in amber, it will show you how you can relate to this person. Okay, then we have the rubies. Rubies are what color?
Red.
Red. So on the traffic light, they're stop. So rubies are stop and go. There's no fine motor skills left in a ruby. So once they get started, they're on a mission, they're going. But if someone stops them and says, you want to go for lunch? Yeah, I do. But they can't get going again. So you gotta help them to get going again, or you gotta help them to stop. So, and pearls, they are probably my favorite of how Teepa explains them anyway. But so in here, this is a very, to me, oysters kind of very slimy. But inside is a beautiful pearl, right? If you're lucky. And pearls are ones that are in the very late stages of dementia, and they are probably bedridden. They don't know who anybody is. But if you can catch them at the right moment, you are their only bridge between the end of their journey into, they're still in the world, but they're at the end of their journey. And if you can catch them at the right moment and they open up, you might get those, or and back they go again. They're sleeping. Okay? So that's what the pearl is described as. So Mrs. Marshall handed out a little sheet that I wanted to give you, so that when are you going to the Louisa house?
February 9th.
February 9th. If it works out that you can be one-on-one with someone, it would be so nice if you could practice that skill that we real briefly learned today. And it'd also be nice if you could just kind of sit and observe maybe that person that you're with, or anybody in the Louisa house. When you go in there, you're not going to know who has dementia and who doesn't. And that's anywhere you're at. If you're out in public, you don't know if somebody's got dementia. And what if you're in church and the little lady that has dementia starts swearing, and you didn't know that she had dementia? She can't help that, because forbidden words are one of the things that they retain. When you're a little kid and you hear somebody swear or something, you know you're not supposed to use that word. So your brain takes it from the left side and shuffles it over to the right side and kind of stores it there. So on the right side is what people with dementia retain. So they can still swear. They don't know they're doing it, but it's a word. It's a vocabulary that they have heard at some point. It's like your brain goes, oh yeah, now I can use this word that I couldn't use 20 years ago. So if you can observe some people and just kind of, if you get a chance to talk about it in class or whatever, of what you saw and why you thought that person was maybe a ruby, or okay. Does anybody have any questions about? This has been real quick, but yes.
A lot of people get dementia when they get older.
Yeah, it's they probably always had it years ago. Not that person, but people are living longer, and the lifespan was maybe 50 or 60 not that long ago, and now they're living into their 80s, 90s, even 100. And so the possibility of getting dementia is a lot more. And because of that, they say by the year 2030, we're going to have, it's just going to be like a tsunami of people with dementia. So Teepa's mission is to get this information out before this happens, so that we as a country are maybe prepared a little bit better. What we're doing right now isn't working very good. We put them in a home maybe, and I'm not saying that a nursing home is wrong, I don't mean that, but people don't understand dementia. And so maybe going into that home isn't working that good for our elderlies. Good question. Anybody else? Yes.
Did you die from dementia?
Yes, yes, you will die. Unless they come up with something for a cure, you know, but no, as of now, even the medication that they're using isn't working. It just maybe slows some of the symptoms down. So yeah, your brain will die to the point where it doesn't even, your brain is your control center. So I mean, it even tells you when to swallow. So it gets to a point where they don't even know how to swallow. So you may hear somebody just kind of gurgling, and don't let it bother you. It's just part of what it is. So thank you. Nice question. Yes.
How do people get dementia?
We don't really know. There's many, if you remember the umbrella, there's many different forms. You can get dementia. People that use drug or alcohols can have alcohol-related dementia. We can get it from a stroke because your brain's been injured. We can get it from, there's certain diseases. I think it's Lewy body disease is a type of dementia. It's a disease, but it has dementia as part of its symptoms. So there's many